Hey, what up, everybody? We're on the road. This is Stevie Breach coming at you. Last night we set up the big match for Wrestlemania, CM Punk against The Undertaker. This is going to be one hell of a match. I believe it is the best match possible for The Undertaker. I don't think that any of the four guys in that match could have given a better match to Taker. Every Undertaker Wrestlemania match, we're not hoping it's his last one, but everybody's going to be thinking this is going to be the last one. They're sort of patching him up every year, as let's go out there and have one more match and see if we can make it one more at the next one. You never want to call it the last because you never know. But they could be throwing us one hell of a curveball and have CM Punk sort of end the streak, and that is the final way of writing Undertaker off of WWE storylines, making him no longer a character. Undertaker's got enough money that I don't even know if he's going to be the kind of guy that's a legend that pops up here or there and does the run-ins, or maybe has matches with Jack Swagger, much like Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Sergeant Slaughter last night on Monday Night Raw. It's a different kind of era. The guys from the 80s, they blew all their money, and the guys from the 90s made a shit ton more money, and a lot of the guys weren't dumb with what they did with it, and saved it, and actually bought houses and stuff like that they could live in for the rest of their lives. And I'm sure Undertaker is one of those guys. It seems like he's pretty good with his money, unlike the Hulks and other guys from different eras. My whole thing is, this storyline honestly really didn't start off great. Raw kicked off. Taker came out, raised his hands up. They put the WrestleMania logo behind him. Sort of like, come on, let's go get it. I'm doing this one more time. Who wants a piece of me? Later on in the show, you had four guys out in the ring. Each of these guys honestly had a real good meaning, to fight Undertaker. You had Randy Orton probably wanted to make up for his one chance that he lost out. A lot of people thought that Randy was the guy that should have ended the streak. Sheamus is a guy at WrestleMania 27 that a lot of people thought was going to get the shot at Taker. They saw him as sort of like the growing heel at the time that, could be shot up, the ranks. It's hard to think of a guy who's a two-time champion not being thought of as a true main eventer. But Sheamus wasn't. It wasn't until, he got the face turn, won the title. And now he really seems like he is a cornerstone of the WWE at this point. But CM Punk's the guy that they tapped on the shoulder, said, all right, it's your turn. Go out and get it. CM Punk came out and said, I want, what did he say? He said his lifelong goal was the main event WrestleMania. Close out the show. Be the guy that, everybody's looking at. All eyes on me. Honestly, I don't think this is the year it's going to happen for you, CM Punk. I mean, everybody saw Rock and Cena that closed the show last year, even though you were the champion. But, man, I don't know. Rock and Cena is going to be huge. That seems like the cornerstone for me. The only thing really going for Taker is his streak. There's nothing else on the line. And I don't really know if that's really going to carry over to people wanting to be there. I mean, when they put the streak versus the career at 26, Undertaker was able to close the show, but that was, the goodbye to Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania, Mr. WWE, Mr. Hall of Fame himself. I think that's the one reason why it really, really went over. The World Heavyweight Championship match at 24 against Edge probably was the biggest thing they had going, and I think Undertaker really did deserve to close out the show. And most people can even debate that they might have made a mistake in Detroit when they didn't put Undertaker versus Batista on to close the show. But, I mean, there's going to be a lot of money. Last year, you put it on there as a dream match, once in a lifetime, Rock versus Cena, and that closed out the show. That's why everybody went to Miami. That's why everybody was there. Neither of the championship matches had much appeal to them. I think it's a pretty big story that Miguel likes to bring up all the time, that me and Ravi didn't even really pay attention to the Jericho versus Punk match. It was pretty boring. It's a little bit better when you watch it back on TV, but I really wouldn't even put it as good of a match that I thought they could have delivered. This storyline needs to get kicked off in a whole new way. I know that one of the greatest WrestleMania matches, maybe even one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time, is Shawn Michaels against Undertaker from WrestleMania 25. That storyline sort of got kicked off the same way. Vladimir Kozlov was built up as the the big heel on SmackDown. He was undefeated. He made an appearance on Monday Night Raw in a match against Shawn Michaels that the winner got to fight Undertaker. There was no real build to it or anything. He was just basically, I want to fight Taker. I want to fight Taker too. All right, let's go have a match. Shawn Michaels went out and defeated Vladimir Kozlov. I think Kozlov had a whole bunch of a build to him. I was always a real big fan of his, and I think the match is the really sort of ending point of him. I guess he went on to have a longer career. He stayed with the company for about 2 years. Became Santino's lackey. I think they won the tag titles, but I don't think Vladimir Kozlov was what he was supposed to be, and it's too bad that he sort of got killed off by Shawn Michaels in this one match on Monday Night Raw. But that really kicked it off, and I mean they were able to deliver one hell of a storyline where Michaels really wanted to end the streak. Basically went on to a two-year long feud where Michaels ended his career because he couldn't end the streak in the one match. So we'll have to see. I know this is going to be a good match. I just hope that they can do something to kick off the storyline. I know that if you go back and you break down CM Punk's promos, he's called himself, God, and he's called himself immortal, and this, that, and the other. So there's going to be some stuff in there, but I'd much rather have seen Undertaker call CM Punk out, or maybe even, Taker call Punk out. There's a little bit of me when the gongs were going off, and it was, Taker was coming out. I was sort of hoping that it was going to be CM Punk coming out in the Undertaker costume, sort of to troll everybody, much like he did when he came out during the Jeff Hardy entrance after he made Jeff Hardy retire. And leave WWE a couple, what is that, 2-3 years ago? Feels like yesterday. Good God. I don't know. Leave me your thoughts. You think it's going to close the show, or you think it's going to be the John Cena versus The Rock show again? Cena versus Rock has the WWE Championship on the line this time, and I think that it's where all the money is. They're going to be putting everything behind it, honestly, and I also think The Rock's a little bit of a prima donna. He's not going to be sitting anywhere on that card if he's not in the main event. That's just myself. I think that's been all worked out between him and Vince. If he's coming back, he's wrestling. He wants top dollar. He wants his name on the poster, and he wants to get paid more than anybody else, and he wants to close that show out, even if it is him laying on his back, having the 1, 2, 3, handing the belt over to John Cena. That's just me. Peace out.